Hello, my name is Frank Landry, and welcome back to our Cineva Engine tutorial series, where I'm showing you how to make your own 3D game. On this episode, we're going to be covering objects. Anything you interact with in Cineva is an object, whether it's the ground, an NPC, or the players, and understanding how to place and move them lets you customize your layout, your aesthetic, and the content of your scene. Here we are in our scene we made last episode. Make sure that it's in edit mode, and we're going to go to this sidebar on the left. There's a lot of interesting buttons here, but for now we're just going to click this top one called Elements. In the Elements tab, you'll find a whole dedicated library of pre-existing models. Not only are they neatly sorted into categories for you to find, but there's a search bar up here to find anything specific you're looking for. Let's go down here to the Models category and select this one, Mill Island Low Poly. To add a model to your scene, we're going to click and drag it into this main screen somewhere on this grid. There'll be a little loading animation and boom, it's part of your scene now. Now that we've added it to our scene, we can go back to play mode, and look at that! Now we see our island. Now the scene looks a little less empty. Now, one problem you may run into, and I ran into it my first time using the platform, is your mouse may not register for certain elements of edit and play mode if you have a touchscreen computer. It'll disappear off the screen, and when you click, it'll seem to do nothing. For me, the issue is just that Cineva likes to prioritize the touch input over the mouse or trackpad, so I have to touch and drag the object into the scene, and then it should work. Anyway, we'll go back and click the object we've placed in the scene, and the first thing you'll see is all these multicolored arrows on it that point in all different kind of directions. If you hover over them, you'll see they glow and display what axis they correspond to, X, Y, and Z. If you're not too math-minded, then let's just call these the movers. They move your object up and down, side to side, and back and forth. Use these to put the object anywhere you want in the scene. However, you may be thinking, I don't want the object to be stuck at this angle. Or maybe, I want to look at my scene from other angles. That's where all these icons near the top of the screen and on the left of the screen come in. The icons on the left correspond to the object you have selected. The ones on the center correspond to the camera. Let's start with the camera controls. The left button, Translate, that looks like two crossed arrows lets us move the camera up, down, left, and right. The middle symbol, the sort of swirl here, lets you rotate around, and the right one lets you move forward and around. You do have some freedom here with the third option, which looks like an underlined U, because as you can see you can rotate around here too, but the first options will give you more precision. Over here on the left, for item specific controls, the first two options on the top are a lot like the first two options for the camera. Our default is the Translate button, which I described as the movers, followed by a rotation button with wheels you can spin the object around with. Our third button is Scale. Say you want a much bigger island here. You click Scale and notice that the arrows are back, but now they change to boxes on the end. Dragging these boxes stretches the object in whatever direction you pull, forward, backward, side to side, etc. Or you can click this box on the center of the object and drag it outward to stretch the whole object at once. We can ignore the World and Local Space button for now. That's a feature that's still in development. Lastly, let's look at this box on the bottom, which can toggle a focus view of the selected object, so you can still use the other options, but with a much closer look at whatever you're working on. Now, we have a variety of objects here you can use in your scene, but if you want to upload your own custom assets, you'll scroll down on the left to the Uploads tab. As the button says, you can drag and drop your assets from your files, but you can also click on the button and browse your files if you so choose. For this video, I pre-downloaded a hammerhead shark model from Aldazil on Sketchfab. Thank you, Aldazil. Make sure the model you're uploading is in a GLTF or GLB file type. A lot of assets sites should give you the option to download a GLB version of the file. Then, once you've added it here, not only will it show up in the Elements tab, but you can drag it back into the scene like so. Just like that, you can add objects into the Cineva engine, position them, scale them up, rotate them, and construct your scene however you like. That's all the time for this episode, but on the next one, we'll explore object components, appearance, and position settings. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.